You know that feeling, right? It's one of the most frustrating things in the world. You finally get that raise, you land a better job, you're earning more money than you ever have before, but somehow you're still broke. So let's talk about why this keeps happening.
I mean, this is the story we're all sold, isn't it? That more money is the answer. It's going to solve all our problems. It's that light at the end of the tunnel. But is it really?
Because for so many of us, that better life feels just as far away as it ever did. Yeah, the paycheck is bigger, but so is the anxiety. The numbers in the bank account might have changed, but that feeling of just being stuck, that hasn't budged. So what is really going on here?
Okay, so let's dive right into this paradox. And look, there's an obvious surface-level answer to this question, and it's probably the one that you're already thinking of.
On the surface, it looks like simple math. Your income goes up, sure, but your expenses go up even faster. But really pay attention to the arrows here. It's not just a one-to-one increase, it's an acceleration. Your spending starts to outpace your new earnings almost immediately.
And this right here, this is the real kicker. This new spending, it isn't driven by actual needs. It's not like you suddenly need more food or a bigger roof over your head. No, this is classic lifestyle creep. It's the new car, the nicer apartment, the dinners out, all because you feel like you can finally afford it.
But why? What's driving that feeling? Well, it comes down to a fundamental truth about us. Our brains are not sophisticated long-term financial planners. Not at all. They're ancient survival machines, and they're wired for one primary thing: finding the fastest possible relief from any kind of discomfort. And there's a name for this behavior: emotional spending. In fact, get this, some studies show that way more than half of us admit to comfort buying just to feel better. We're not spending to survive, we're spending to feel. We're using money to buy a little escape from stress or boredom or sadness. The thing we buy isn't the point, the temporary emotional relief is.
But look, knowing what we're doing is only half the battle. If we really want to break free, we have to understand why. So let's go a layer deeper and uncover the real, hidden reason we get trapped in this cycle.
This habit, this pattern of spending money to feel better, it's not new. It didn't just show up with your first big paycheck or your first credit card. Nope, it started a long time ago.
I want you to think way back. This pattern was wired into you when you were a kid, when you first saw the emotional power of money. Did you see it used as a reward for good behavior? Was it a constant source of stress and arguments in your house? Or maybe it was a way to show love. Those early lessons created a deep program in your brain. And that program, it's all governed by a very simple, very powerful, and almost totally unconscious rule that is probably still dictating your financial choices to this day.
And here it is. This is the rule. For millions of us, our hidden programming is this simple equation: spending equals relief. So when you feel a negative emotion, stress, anxiety, whatever, the fastest solution your brain knows is to spend money. It's an automatic, reflexive response.
And once that rule is set, it creates this vicious, self-perpetuating loop. You earn money, life happens, you feel stress, your brain automatically fires off the rule, spend to get relief. So you buy something, you get that quick hit of dopamine, that feeling of relief, and then the whole cycle starts over again. Earning more money doesn't break the cycle, it just pours more fuel on the fire.
So let's completely reframe this whole thing. You're not stuck because you have an income problem, you're stuck because you have a pattern problem. And honestly, that should feel empowering, because unlike your income, your patterns are something you have direct control over.
All right, so the big question is, how do you break a pattern that's been running on autopilot for your entire life? Well, it's not about trying harder or having more willpower. The solution is actually much simpler. It all comes down to the power of a single moment.
Think about that unconscious spending cycle we just talked about. It's so powerful because it's automatic, it's fast, it runs in the background where you can't even see it. But the second you shine a light on it, the moment you become aware that it's happening, you rob it of its power. See, its strength comes from being invisible, from running on autopilot. By simply noticing the urge as it happens, you start to dismantle the whole machine.
I mean, this is Psychology 101, right? You can't change something if you don't even know it's happening. The simple act of observing your own mind, of saying, there it is, I'm feeling stressed, and now my brain wants me to go buy something. That alone creates a critical space between the impulse and the action.
So here's the new path. We're not trying to get rid of stress. Let's be real, that's impossible. We are just inserting one tiny game-changing new step, the pause. Now,
When that trigger hits, you don't automatically spend. You just stop. And in that tiny moment of pause, you create something you didn't have before, a choice.
Okay, so you've created that pause. You have a moment of choice. Now what? How do you make this practical? Well, it comes down to building a new habit around one simple, incredibly powerful question. This right here, this is your new tool. The next time you feel that pull, that urge to buy something, just pause and ask yourself this one question. What feeling am I actually trying to buy right now? Am I trying to feel less bored, more in control, less lonely, near important? This question instantly shifts your focus from the thing you want to buy to your internal state, which is where the real problem is.
Because at the end of the day, building wealth isn't really a math problem, it's a mind problem. It's about understanding the hidden programs that are driving your decisions. When you learn to control your mind, you finally truly gain control of your money. So the question I'll leave you with is this: what rule has your money been following? And what new rule are you going to give it starting today?